God hilse folkens, og velkommen til en bonusepisode av Tyrspillet Cloudedheart. I løpet av forrige episode så slo vi spillet, og kom gjennom helt til slutten, så det er ganske nice. Og egentlig, poenget med denne episoden er egentlig bare å ha en titt inn i bonusrommet, så let's get into it. Se der, ja. Hiya, and welcome to the bonus room, V2. Looks like you beat the game. I guess that means you stuck with it all the way through. I really appreciate that. I'm Carl Martin, or just Carl, the maker of this game. Hvor gøy må ikke det egentlig være, og som du er sånn, si engelsk-amerikansk type som han plutselig finner dette spillet, så bare, Hi, I'm Carl Martin. Det er gøy. Now, you're probably wondering what all this is about, so I'll give you a little verbal tour of this place. You could compare this to a special features menu on a DVD. Og husker folk dette fortsatt? Jeg elsker det så mye. In terms of what kind of stuff you'll find here, basically you can go in 4 directions. Each path leads to a different room. If you head south, you find the production room, where you can find out a few things about the game on a technical level, how it was made, the music, the graphics and so on. On the left is the character room, which is similar but focuses more on the characters of Cloudedheart. Made learn some things about them that you haven't noticed yet. On the right, which I guess is the main attraction, you'll find the story room, where you can access extra scenes that didn't make it into the main game. These include an additional ending scene, as well as a little something for those who have played my first game, The Hero of Meduna, som jeg ikke har prøvd, og som jeg aldri får lov til å prøve. But for this room, there's a catch. To access it, you must have beaten the game and all its side quests 100%. In other words, you must have put out all of the lights shining in the Traverse Caverns at the end of the game, og det har vi gjort. As for the room straight ahead, you'll just have to find out yourself. Well, that's all. Have fun and come see me when you're done. Nå vet jeg ikke hvor du er her nå. Vi kan egentlig bare begynne i sør, I guess. Og vi ser om vi finner noe her. Der er det sånn lys. Så, her var det en hel haug med Karle der, vet du. This version 4 of the game was released in October 2010 with an updated script, a new dialogue design, a bunch of name changes and other stuff. Will I make another version someday? Maybe. I have lots of ideas, but unfortunately most of them are impossible to realize, thanks to the limitations of RPG Maker 2000. So done. Wow, with copies of me running around all over the place like this, I'm starting to feel like Agent Smith. Why just me? Well, I'm the only one who worked on this game, so I guess I'm in one-man development team. Well, I couldn't have done it completely by myself. Go check a certain other room and you'll know what I mean. Sure. Did you know? The game was originally developed as a sequel to the first game I ever made, The Hero of Meduna. That game took place 89 years before the story of Cloudedheart, and first introduced characters like Keith, Magus, Marth's grandfather, and Seon. However, I decided to drop the idea, because well, my first game sucked, so I reworked the story to stand on its own, without the need to have played the first game. If you're curious about the storyline in that game, why not check out the Meduna Chronicles in the items section? They sum it all up pretty well. That is, if you found them all. Og det har jeg gjort, så veldig nice. Vi ser her nede. A sequel? Nah, I'd probably ruin the game by doing that. Sequels to stories that already had a proper ending usually don't turn out very well. I mean, look at Disney. Oi. Det er en kraftig roast det, vet du. Either way, I think it's time for me to retire from the RPG Maker world. It's a lot of work, and I don't have it in me to start a new project anytime soon. I gave Cloudedheart my all, so I feel I've shown my full potential with this stuff as it is. I doubt I could top it if I ever made another game like this. Vi kunne jo lagd noe som var, holdt på å si, satt i samme univers. Og jeg gjetter på det at det er jo fullt mulig at veldig mange fans som kan litt om spilldesign vil hjulpe deg. Men på samme tid i dag så har du ikke tid til det, for du er jo level up mann nå. This game is full of references, you know, like subtle nods to other games, films and TV series. Did you notice any of them? Well, in the end, it all comes down to how many interests you have in common. You'll find references to my first game, Final Fantasy, and other Squaresoft games, as well as several TV shows. If you check out the story room in here, you'll find some Smallville-inspired dialogue, for example. Jeg har ikke sett det før, så jeg kjenner ikke til de referansene der. All the music in this game that didn't come with RPG Maker itself is taken from vgmusic.com. The tracks themselves are mainly from Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Xenogears, plus a few here and there from other games. Ja, men det sa ikke meg direkte hvordan jeg skal finne nøyaktig den jeg vil. If you're already familiar with RPG Maker, you may recognize a lot of the sprites used in this game, but not ones like, say, Marth, Catherine and Aditya. That's because I made, or rather edited, those myself, because I couldn't find any that really fit the characters I had in mind. Det er jo egentlig bare tøft det, for det jo. Gikk gjennom så mye for dette her. You know, it's been years since I started using RPG Maker, and I still don't know what this thing is supposed to be. For det ser litt ut som... Jeg vet ikke hva det skal se ut som heller, så... One thing I've realized while working on this game is that graphics in an RPG do matter. Sorry, retro gamers. I felt several times while developing this game that the images in my head didn't transfer very well to the game, simply because of the lack of possibilities. If this had been designed like a modern game, with detailed 3D models, especially the facial expressions, voices, orchestral music, etc., it completely changed the experience. Not just in an eye-candy way, what I mean is, there are limits to what you can express with sprites. If you play a lot of games, imagine your favorite scene from a modern game done like this, and you may know what I mean. A lot of the emotions get toned down. For example, the Final Fantasy IX ending, I won't spoil any of the events, but that scene is so powerful. Partly because of the beautiful music and the tears in certain characters' eyes. I can't do things like that in RPG Maker, which is a shame, because I really think some part of this game could have had a much greater impact if I could. Obviously, it's extremely unlikely that I'd ever be able to upgrade any of that much by myself. I have neither the skills nor resources for that, I'm just dreaming. When I think about it, I could see the story as an anime series as well. I really like the anime style for how expressive it is. Skjønner. Da er vi tom for ting å finne her inne, så er det bare å gå til neste rom. Og for meg å få en innvendig rap. Jeg leser så mye der at jeg fikk vondt i halsen av det. Jeg risikerer liv og lem for dette her. This room is tiny, huh? Well, originally this was supposed to be a room where I'd rant endlessly about the characters of the game. But that'd probably suck, so instead, I'll use this room to give you a little slideshow of sorts. You may not have noticed that some hand-drawn images have popped up during the game, mainly on the title screen and in dialogue scenes. Those were drawn by me personally. In this slideshow, I'll show you a few more, one for each of the 4 main characters, and I'll comment on the characters along the way. And a little note to the other RPG makers if they happen to download and play this game from the internet. You may not use these images in your own games or anywhere else without my permission. I consider that plagiarism. Well, now that that's out of the way, I'll just get to the point. Yeah, let's go. Great, I had to reduce the image quality a bit so I could import the pictures, but they should still be alright. Enjoy the slideshow. Där har vi Marth, vet du. The character Marth was the whole reason I decided to begin the Cloudedheart project. The concept of a main character having to confront himself was what got me started. I wanted to put good and evil into a kind of philosophical light as a main theme, and also focus on an issue that most people have to face and can relate to, loneliness. Og tenk, dette her var sånn tilbake i 2004-2006. Og likevel da så sleit folk med ensomhet. Marth encountering a dark version of himself in the story was my very first idea, and that gradually developed into, well, all of this. I could go into a total psychoanalysis on Marth and his inner conflict, but I won't put you through that right now. Men jeg ville lest det for dem. But if you ever suspected Marth was my character in the game, you wouldn't be entirely wrong. I'm a lot like him, just slightly less conflicted, I hope. But then again, that applies to all the other characters too. They all have a little bit of me in them. Og det er faktisk noe som jeg legger merke til når jeg skriver ting på fritida mi, det at mange av de figurene jeg bryr meg om, får bite av meg inni de faktisk, så det er litt sånn, Du legger dine beste og verste trekk i figurer du liker som du skriver om. So I guess anyone who finishes this game ends up knowing me pretty well. Wow, I'm scared of you now. Anyway, moving on. That'd be Catherine. Catherine was one of the other fundamental ideas I had for this game, a heroine that was more than meets the eye. The thing about Catherine is that she seems to be your average cheerful teenage girl, but in reality she's a very dark and heavy character. She hides her real self from others, just like Marth does, except she's better at it. She might even be more complex than him, as far as that goes. During the course of the game, Marth is the only person who truly catches a glimpse of who she really is. There's also something that she suspects about her mother that causes her a lot of pain. That's a small detail you may not have noticed yet. Men det har jeg gjort. If you haven't, you may be able to figure it out based on something she says near the end of the game, or you can watch the bonus scene if that you'll find in another room. Det var veldig annerledes enn det jeg trodde Lionel skulle se ut. Lionel was hard to draw. This was the first piece of concept art that I drew of him. But anyway, even though Marth and Catherine were always planned to be the 2 main characters of the story, I couldn't just rely on them alone. The ideas for Lionel and Scarlet came a bit after I had mapped out exactly what I wanted the story to be about. Lionel, or Dion, became a lot more involved in everything than I first imagined, and I guess it's an unwritten rule that every RPG must have a guy with amnesia in it. Typisk. Lionel's secrets are never spelled out directly, it's all a matter of connecting the pieces. If you've done all the side quests of the game, you've probably figured it out now. I had hoped I'd be able to make the connection between him and Martha a little less obvious, but oh well. Men det der egentlig noe som jeg synes er rart, fordi når jeg spilte dette første gang, så jeg fant ingen connection mellom de. Jeg skjønte det i flere år senere på grunn av etternavnet. Wow, hun er skikkelig melankolsk ut der. At first, Scarlet seems like a very cold and enigmatic character, but she'll do anything for the people who have earned her love. What keeps Scarlet going is her dream of restoring her hometown, Aethura. This is more out of love for her brother than any kind of national pride. By saving Aethura, she'll fulfill the dream she and her brother Lucas shared. To give something truly important and fulfill the dreams of her loved ones is Scarlet's definition of happiness. But how did she remember Martha and the others at the end? Well, I'm keeping that one a secret for now. There is a logical explanation, and you might figure it out if you think about it. Ja, jeg klarer ikke knytte den sammen, så jeg vet ikke. Uansett, så var det rom nummer 2. Skal vi se om det er noe på rom nummer 3, har du vet det? Da går vi rett opp. Vi har fortsatt litt tid igjen, vet du, så det blir jo sånn standard lengde på Cloudedheart episode. Wow! Who are you? Men, nå gikk du... Nå gikk det opp på meg! Det her må jo selvfølgelig være folk som Carl har vært med på i det virkelige liv. Jeg tror dette her er det kanskje... Nei, jeg husker ikke hvem det er. Jeg tror dette her er Charlotte. Nei, det er Sophie. Åja, dette er det britiske venninnen. I'm Sophie, perhaps better known as B. I've known Carl for several years now before he even began working on this game. During the game's development, I've shown a lot of interest in the project and given him some much needed encouraging words or threats to help him along. Den er fin. Vi ser, hvem er du? Eleanor, or just Ellie. I'm a good friend of Carl's and is one of the people who survived several rants about this game while it was still in development. Herregud, det høres ut. Jeg kjenner meg igjen og veldig nå i hvordan det må ha vært. Når jeg først begynner å snakke om det jeg skriver på egen hånd, jeg ranter kanskje litt vel mye om det jeg gjør, så dette her må jo være Bjørn. Se at det er Bjørn, vær så snill. Nei, det er Ole Christian faktisk. Det er Ole fra Ole Palusa, Muffins Media Ole. And I'm one of the beta testers for Cloudedheart V4. I'm also doing a playthrough for the internet. Gjorde du det? That might already be on YouTube by now, actually. It's in Norwegian, so if you speak the language, what are you waiting for? Go watch it. Watch it now. Det var han. Men er det Bjørn som er på denne siden her da, eller er det noen andre? Andreas, I'm a friend and RPG maker padawan of Carl's. I've been listening to lots of rants about this game from back when it was still just a short demo of things to come. Så Bjørn er ikke med her. Hey, I'm known as Jibbe on the gaming world forums. I've been helping with the second release of this game. Specifically, what I've done is draw the battle model for the Raven, that image you see when you're fighting him. I've also given a few comments and suggestions for things to improve for this version, like some other members of Gaming World have done. Also, the maker of the game has no idea what I look like. That's why I'm this cool ghost-like thing. Den var fin. Hi, I'm Andreas, and I'm Hans Christian. We're in here because we made sure he kept us updated on the progress of the game, and that was motivating and stuff. Huh? You mean we're in the game? So, like, people see us when they go in here? Cool! Hey, Mom! Dude, do you really think your mom will find this game on the internet, then download it and play through it to the end? Seems somewhat unlikely to me. Oh yeah. Wait, that guy was high down there. Wasn't his name Andreas too? Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, you're multiplying! Anyway, that's all. You can move along now. Let's see. Here er Carl igjen, vet du. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. If you notice any bugs or glitches in the game, feel free to send me an email at car@muffinsmedia.com and let me know. If somebody wants to spin in... Check out Muffins Media. Ja, den siden funker jo ikke lenger, dessverre. Nei, jeg er ikke klar, fordi jeg har ikke sett gjennom de siste scenene. Jeg glemte jo det. Jeg trodde... I det øyeblikk så trodde jeg at det i nord var bare at jeg kunne gå tilbake, men det var feil. Jeg trodde oppriktig dette her skulle være en av de der norske venninnene til Carl, om det så var Bente eller Charlotte, men ja. Da tok jeg feil. Da er det siste vi skal se gjennom, er jo selvfølgelig de ekstra scenene her, vet du. Yes da. 4 varianter av Carl her, vet du. Want to travel halfway across the world 88 years ago into the past? Yeah, sure. Ekstra scener her, vet du. Det der kraftigere fantasy, føler jeg. It will soon be time. Yeah, sure. Hurry up for this? Indeed. Good, that's what I wanted to hear. You know, I'm really glad you came to your senses with all this. I wonder though, is it right to abandon my duties here and leave everything in the hands of Dine and Lena? They'll be fine, you know that. To them it's just a humongous honor. Besides, you've been king for as long as I can remember. Not to mention you led the restoration of a city most people thought was gone for good. I think you've earned a bit of an early retirement. Do you family your country? To think we knew so little about it before all of this. Yeah, kinda makes you wonder what else could be out there. But someone else will have to discover that. I'm done exploring. I think I'll just find a nice place to settle down and continue my research. Ah yes, time, correct? That's right. Of all the things you could conduct research on. What? I'm curious. It's a phenomenon we can neither define nor explain, so I'm gonna uncover the mystery. Well, good luck. Do I detect sarcasm? Well, if anyone can do it, it's you. Thanks. But I have to admit, it does kinda make me feel like a mad scientist. When were you ever sane? Got a point there. Well, what about you? What do you plan on doing once we reach Euphemia? Live like a normal person for once? Perhaps start a family? Awesome! You gonna let me babysit the little ones? That thought is somewhat frightening. Hey, it's not like I'd use them as guinea pigs for my new inventions or anything. Well, as long as they behave. Anyway, thought of any names yet? Dion is a good name. Not bad. That does like something you'd name your kid. Let's hope the lady agrees. What about you? I don't know. I guess I'd settle down eventually after we moved. Find myself a nice girl and, you know... Eternal Bachelor Keith Elliott, settle down? That is something I never expected to hear from you. Well, you know, better make sure the family lives on. Can't stay hot and single forever. I don't know about names, but like, maybe Leonard or Kieran or something if I get a boy. Sounds to me like you've given this more thought than you're telling me. Hey, I just noticed I made a book once, no big deal. And what kind of book was this? Parenting for Dummies. I knew it. Oh, let's not forget whose bookshelf I secretly borrowed it from. Anyway, what do you say we go out and have a drink this weekend, just like old times? What's the occasion? Since when do you need a reason to have a good time? Magus, dude, the whole royalty, responsibility thing must have really scrambled your brains. But aren't we going to that reunion party at Alan and Michelle's? That's next weekend. Doesn't mean we can't do anything this weekend. Hope to see you there. Do you find me a country? Is this where I'll find my nirvana? Dessverre så tror jeg ikke helt konseptet buddhisme fungerer godt i middelaldersetting, Carl. Beklager. Så litt malplassert akkurat den der. Men jeg likte scenen for det om. For det er jo... Ja, for de som kanskje ikke skjønte det. Altså, Martha Catherine sine... Hva er det heter igjen? Forfedre. 3 igjen. How did the Raven gain control of Euphemia City so easily? Wanna see? Ja, men så må jeg gjøre den der utrolig irriterende stemmen til The Mayor. Ok. My, that was a lovely meal. Thank you. Indeed, the food here is simply... Oi, is simply faktisk. Det var skriveleif. To die for. Say, Why don't you take off that hood? It's a bit difficult to have a proper conversation when I can't even see your face. Surely you won't need it in here in the confines of your own castle. Well, I'd rather stay on the safe side. Being a bit mysterious isn't bad for my image, you know. Ha, very well. Leaving already, sir? Yes, I fear I must be going. Thank you for a splendid evening. I'm glad we finally had a chance to meet. The pleasure is all mine. But it's a shame we couldn't come to an agreement regarding Euphemia. Indeed. Well, opening the city for you in such a way could threaten the safety of the civilians. Not to mention the blow to my career, should it ever be discovered. Surely you understand? Think nothing of it. I predict we'll find a solution in soon enough. Good. Well, I'd best be on my way. Are you feeling alright, sir? Yes, don't worry, it's just a cut. You will be dead in 7 hours. The meal? Correct. Poison, a special kind, made from an acid only found in the marshes south of here. It will cause your internal organs to shut down, one by one. I hear the pain is unbearable. You monster! Now, wouldn't this be a tragic end for a successful man like yourself? I have a little something in my pocket, the antidote, but I'm not sure if I want to waste it on you, in case I need it later. You will cooperate, Mayor. Og der har vi egentlig det som viser hvordan de fikk kontroll på byen. The Raven er en grusom mann, altså. Eller var, rett og slett, for han er jo død nå. Things have changed a bit for Martha and Catherine now that they've reached a new stage in their lives. Wanna check up on them? Ja, vi har vel tid til det. Den siste scenen blir jo den grusomste òg, vet du. Selvfølgelig. Jamen, pus. Huh? Hey, it's okay. Don't be scared. Litt forsiktig. You're hurt. Looks like you've walked a long way. Don't worry, you're safe here. Der kommer Martha ut, han flytta inn. Funny. What's wrong? Look, this cute little guy was wandering around outside. He's got a small wound, but it should be okay. Doesn't look like he has any owners, though. I'm starting to sense an impending can we keep him? Oh. You sense correctly. Well, sounds good to me. Let's do it. Wow, that was easy. Never pinned you as a cat person. Well, he looks happy. Well, we'll need a name though. Well, let's see. He's cute, dark, and kind of shy. I say we name him Martha. What? We're not naming him Martha. Well, if you don't like the Y part, we could always make it Marth. But then that'd get confusing, and if I said Marth, it's feeding time, you'd both come running. We're not naming him Martha. Fine, I give up. So, we're really doing this? Sure, it'll be good practice. Practice? You mean... Yeah, or don't you want to? I didn't say that, but already? What? No, not yet. I mean, we should, enjoy life some more first, right? Right, and take care of little Martha. Stop that! Besides, the thought of you being pregnant kind of scares me. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Actually, no, I don't blame you. Det var en søt liten scene da, holy shit. Ok, da det tid for siste scene nå, vet du. Holy shit. Den episoden ble lengre enn jeg trodde den skulle bli. Want to see my bonus scene? This is a very dark scene that shows how Catherine handles Aditya's mind attack, the one you saw Marth go through right before the final battle. Catherine's version definitely isn't any easier to overcome. What is she hiding in the deepest reaches of her mind, and what will she learn from it? Let's go. Siste scene nå. Mommy! What? Hello? Anyone there? Mommy, wake up! You can't sleep today. We're gonna visit Daddy's grave, remember? No, not that! Mommy? Don't bring it back. Please. Mommy, why are you so cold? No! Stop! Only a few months before that day, your mother was perfectly healthy. Then your father died. She soon followed. The cause of Christine Elliott's death remains a mystery to this day. To you, however, it was never a mystery. I said stop! None of this matters anymore! She could not bear the thought of raising you alone. She departed, willingly. That's a lie! Mom would never kill herself! There was never any proof that she did! And there was never proof that she didn't. And now it appears you are breaking the one promise you made to her. You are crying. What do you know? I know all there is to know. I am you. I am what belongs in the darkest depths of your heart. That's crazy! If it were me, why would you torture me like this? You have given me no other choice. You have pushed me away again and again. You have refused to acknowledge me, refused to face me. But in reality, for each passing day, for each time you tried to escape me, your heart became more tainted. And now, after all those years of running away, you have lost yourself. Pushing away the memories meant pushing away your very soul. You promised you would be strong, that you would never cry, despite the burning pain that never left your heart. The sorrow, the insecurity, the doubt, the agony of being the girl who was too difficult for even her mother to love. Shut up! Please, I can't. All of this you desperately tried to push away, but were you ever able to? Do you not feel them? The deep scars eating away at your very core. But I've moved on since then. I've learned to live alone. And I've made some good friends. Lies. You never moved forward. Instead, you stopped to build an impenetrable wall around your heart, where you could be safe. Inside this wall, you were protected. Your harsh reality could no longer hurt you. Every emotion, positive and negative, was blocked out. Then came the lies, the facade. The image of an easygoing, simple-minded girl who was perfectly fine on her own. An act to hide your real, fragile and vulnerable self. You know this is true. I do. And so began your circle of misery. You refuse to reveal who you are, making it impossible for anyone to get close to you, and yet deep inside your shattered heart is a girl who screams to be loved. I know all that, but I don't know what I should do. One does not simply break out of such a circle. The more you long to be loved, the more your heart attempts to protect itself. Your wall grows stronger even now. In the end, you will have nothing left. Only loneliness. Loneliness? Yes, the ultimate enemy within the human soul. The emptiness that every human being must face and overcome. You have lost this battle. Lost? You mean it's too late? There is no hope? There is one way. Free your heart, Catherine. Continuing the struggle will only lead to more suffering. Your heart will slowly wither away. Come and embrace your mother in death. No. It might be true that I've been kidding myself for all these years, even lied to the people I care about. But not anymore. I've found someone who can see through my facade. I can tell. He knows who I am. I've been tearing down his walls as he's been tearing down mine. I'm learning to live again. It's him I've chosen to embrace. You cry for help, yet refuse the ultimate liberation. This is unexpected. We're all gonna die, so why rush it? I've got some important things to do first. Things I'll never want to miss out on. So until then... shove it! You know where. I've begun to understand the horrors you've kept locked up in your heart all these years, Catherine. But from now on, don't think for a second that you're alone. No matter what it is that stands in your way, I'll be there to face it with you, always. Marth? And it is not just me. All of your friends care deeply about you, Catherine. Trust them as you've trusted me, and they'll come running. Everyone? I could use some help. Let's put an end to all this, together. Og det var siste scenen vi fikk tid til der. And you know how it goes from there, yes da. Anyway, thanks for watching. Det var litt grann slitsomt at jeg måtte gå gjennom alt det der, men ja. Da er det alt vi har tid til egentlig, så da er jo faktisk serien slutt for godt. Og wow, litt av en reise det har det vært, så jeg håper folk likte å se gjennom dette her, på samme måte som jeg likte å spille gjennom det. Så tror jeg det egentlig er det. Skal vi se. Ja, nå må jeg bare gjennom denne teksten her, vet du, for å komme til... Ja. Der, ja. Da er vi ferdig for godt, folkens. Håper dere likte denne bonusepisoden her, og egentlig serien generelt. Han har vart gjennom mesteparten av februar nå, så det er jo litt utrolig at jeg fikk til det, men sånn skjer tydeligvis. Ja. Da håper dere likte denne episoden her, og vil følge med på hva som kommer etterpå. Det blir et Lego-spill, så jeg holder mitt løfte. Men frem til den neste serien kommer ut, så håper dere alle har en fortreffelig dag, i en fortreffelig uke med fortreffelige folk, i en fortreffelig måned forhåpentligvis. Så tror jeg vi snakkes med i neste serie som kommer på Tearswings kanal her. Snakkes, folkens.